Good evening, friends, and welcome to Moonshot Conversations, Jao. We really are excited to partner with you on this initiative to give wings to dreams and ideas, Jao.
Hello, Agnella Rajesh. Hello, Lina. Good afternoon. It's my pleasure and Dream Shaper's pleasure to be part of this movement and of this initiative to partner with you, Agnella Rajesh, and you, Lina, and also with all the Corroboree team and community. And we are really grateful for being part of this. We've been uh, running after this type of impact all over the world for the past years, and it's a great pleasure and honor to partner with you to bring it to India and to the youth of India.
So, Zhao, we're just hoping Bollywood doesn't snap you up, right? Um, a group of girls once asked me if you had someone you could date, who would it be? And other girls were saying George Clooney and this and that. And I was saying Elon Musk. And they said, Elon Musk? I said, because I love contrarian thinkers. So now, um, from Elon Musk, am I still here?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
there.
okay, I don't know what happened. From Elon Musk, I would say, if I had to choose again, I would say I'll be dating Zhao. And while Elon Musk may make self-driving cars, you, I know, will be creating a system for kids to engage in self-directed learning. And while you may not take us to Mars, the children who come onto the platform will think like rocket scientists, and I'm sure they will take us to Mars.
Thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic, Lina. Thank you so much. Jao, what do you think has changed in the recent path that makes self-directed learning so important?
Well, Agnella Rajesh, I think it's maybe the answer is divided in two subjects. One is the motivations the kids and the youth nowadays has. So nowadays, kids are motivated by self-directed experiences. They like to explore. They are curious. They have all the means to go after any information they want. So the truth is that we have to give them that possibility. We have to train them and to give them the ability of being self-directed and searching for answers. And at the same time, that's what the world expects from these children and these youth. And I think this is good news because the motivations connect with the needs, and basically the other side is needs. So basically what the labor market asks today, what the corporate world, what the personal life asks today is for people who know how to self-lead and how to go on a self-directed path. So I think that's the main change we are seeing now on the 21st century, and it totally connects with what we're doing on Big Leap India and what we're doing with active learning methodologies at schools and universities.
So while I agree with you, Zhao, that today it's possibly more intensely required than ever before, I think autonomy is always been one of the key human needs. And what has happened is we've only sort of more realized it today. And I think this is where Dream Shaper is going to play a beautiful role with Big Leap India in actually getting kids to be intrinsically driven, self-driven, to come on and create their ideas and dreams and take it to a product or service. So we're very, very excited, Joe.
So, Lina and so many others involved in learning and education speak about human skills being more important than IQ. What will children learn from their experience on Big Leap India that will serve them in the future, whether or not they execute the idea into a project job?
Well, I think that the main thing, I totally agree with the sentence just before starting, and I don't think that IQ is not important or technical skills are not important. The thing is that nowadays the combination between soft skills and good soft skills and good technical skills is what matters, and so I totally agree with that sentence, and I think that the main thing that these children and these young people that will participate in Big Leap India will take, well, first of all, it's the ability of knowing themselves, and I think this is really important. And schools and most of educators nowadays are not so focused on providing that tools to students to knowing themselves, know the others, know their identity, their skills, their interests. And I think this is really important, and it's something that it's part of the path on Dream Shaper that these children will go through, and I really think this is important because they will learn about themselves today, but more importantly, they will learn about how to learn about themselves, and that's something that you can apply on any time on in your life. But at the same time, they will learn how to apply who they are and the interests they have and the skills they have and the relations they have to solve real problems, and how to use their curiosity and their ability to create new things, their creativity, in order to solve real problems. And I was reading something one of these days, like the world it's going so bad on so many things, and the biggest hope we have it's because the youth of nowadays is connected to changing the world and to solve the world's problems. And so I think this may be the best thing we will bring with Big Leap India, and the best legacy we will leave on the children and young people that will participate.
So one of the things I love, Joe, while IQ and EQ, we need to obviously have more balance, because EQ is something that hasn't been really honored or focused on in schools. What I love with Big Leap India is when you begin, you actually go first into knowing yourself before you go into just thinking about, your ideas or anything else. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things, because, while you could have all the IQ in the world, if you don't have self-awareness, if you don't have self-regulation, emotional regulation, and emotional self-control, I think all the IQ in the world will not really take you anywhere. So what I love about Big Leap India is it begins with the emotional awareness and then sort of moves into the technical awareness.
Yes, yeah, agree.
Fantastic, Lina. So, Jao, schools feel that they are preparing students for the 21st century jobs. Business leaders feel otherwise. Research shows that while 98% of schools, colleges, and universities are confident that they are preparing students for success, only 11% of business leaders agree that graduates have the skills they seek. Why do you think there is so much disparity and such a huge gap between education institutions and corporate organizations, Jao?
And there's a great gap there, and that's one of the big issues that we are trying to help educators, schools, educational systems to change. And the result of what you just said, it comes with other recent researches that show that 80% of the people that are fired from big companies are because of the lack of their soft skills and not because of the lack of their technical skills. And that comes with the fact that the school systems and the pedagogy and methodology used, it's still very traditional. So traditional methods are still the main methods used in schools, and these methods are much more focused on developing technical skills and developing some type of skills that are still important, as we talked on the previous question. They're still important, but they have to be combined with soft skills, and most of the schools and most of teachers are still not doing that, are still not using active learning methodology. So innovating on the way they teach and on the way students learn, so that they learn the technicalities, at the same time they develop skills. But I think that this is it's not only bad news, there are good news here too. And the good news are that we see, and we are working worldwide with the Dream Shapers, so we see schools and teachers all over the world trying to change and searching for tools that help them changing. And we even see governments and ministries of education bringing new laws like the NEP 2020 to in a certain way give the space and start enforcing a little bit the change and giving the environment for schools and teachers to change. So bad news are the statistics are true. The good news are that schools understand this, and they are trying to change, but they need help to change, and that's what we're trying to do.
So, Zhao, we've got Samina Jamal on online, and she runs my favorite Billabong. She was running a partner school, but she's completely pro active learning methodologies, project-based learning. She's trying to, she's putting it throughout her school. So she's going to be very, very excited to, to start looking at Big Leap India for the students of her school. And one of the things I'm also really charged about and happy about is that companies like Google and Ernst & Young are now moving away from requiring the technical skill certificates at all. I mean, they're actually just the interview process is based on whether you have the emotional regulation, the self-awareness to come in and do the soft skills that are required for the role.
Yes, and I think that's evident, and that's happening, and we see that all the behavior skills. It's something that it's much easier to develop when you are children, when you are younger, and the truth is that these companies understand that it's much more difficult to develop soft skills and behavior skills than technical skills on their workers, collaborators. So I think this is why they are looking for entrepreneurs, internal entrepreneurs, people with the right soft skills, people that know how to solve problems, that are curious, that know how to research. This is something that usually we don't think. We think that okay, there's traditional learning and research. Doing research is part of it, and then there's active learning methodologies. But the truth, that's not 100% true. The truth is that most of young people don't know actually how to research, and they don't know how to. They don't learn at school how to research on with the new tools that are available today. They learn it at home. The truth is that when they want to learn something they want, they know the right tools to use. So I think this is it. This is why companies are much more focused on people that know how to research, know how to solve problems, know how to communicate. And yes, and schools are trying to change to provide this type of skills on students.
So, João, in India, lots of schools have children make projects. The children do the projects here in India. But I have heard you say that there is a big difference between making projects and project-based learning. Can you please explain in detail about this, João?
Yes, I think that doing projects or doing group works, it's kind of typical anywhere in the world. And doing project-based learning, it's not necessarily different than working in groups or doing group works. I think it's the methodology itself and the focus that changes. So usually on a traditional project, what happens is that you are learning the content, and then you are doing a project to apply that content. Okay, so the way it goes is you learn the traditional way, and then you do a project to show you learned well the content. And project-based learning makes things kind of upside down. So basically, you do a project, and then you learn to be able to do your project. And this makes it much more motivating to the student, because he understands why does he have to learn to put something in place and to build something. So I think this is the main difference. And I think that, and we work with the publishers and big educational groups all around the world, and we see this. They're bringing projects, but still, like it's good news that people are working with projects. Now it's the time to use that space that we are already bringing to class in a different way, because the impact will be huge. So I think this is the main difference between traditional projects and project-based learning.
I think it'll take a while for all of us in India to understand the difference. But the beauty about the platform is even without understanding the difference, it kind of automates you step by step to going through the process of coming up with your idea first, and then figuring out what you need in terms of research, in terms of technical skills, in terms of understanding to make, to apply to that idea.
Fantastic. I think, Lina, there are a lot of people asking questions, and I think you should be picking up a few of them. Some very interesting questions coming in from our Corabri as well.
Says so. Well, they're mostly comments, but Ashish Agarwal, who's the principal of Billabong Bhopal, he says we need to have. Oh, before I can read it, it's gone. We need to have a conglomerate to accelerate and pull this off in a definitive time frame. And he's largely speaking because the new education policy, the national education policy, is actually perfectly aligned to Big Leap India and Dream Shaper platform. We've got Deepa Bhushan on, somebody who's worked with me very closely. Thinking, problem solving, creativity are mutually inclusive, and it takes us a step closer for leading a stress-free life. Samina says, I don't agree with 21st century skills being talked about. In fact, human race default setting is 21st century skills. This was lost because of vested interests, which I don't want to talk about. Check out prehistoric humans and you know what I'm talking about. I'm completely with you, Samina. As
Yes,
I said,
I think that.
yeah.
Sorry, Lina, please. No,
As
I
I
was
said,
just sorry, please.
no, gentlemen, handsome gentleman first.
Sorry, no, I was just going to say that kind of I think about this a lot. I think that when we are talking about 21st century skills, it's like 21st century bringing the importance of skills that were like the main skills for us to be where we are today. And I think that on the past century, we kind of tried to automatize things and to just grow a model that was already working. But now on the past like 10 to 20 years, we are just understanding that the last 100 years model doesn't work. So we are backing up on those old school skills that humans, prehistoric humans had, and not only prehistoric, even on 2 centuries ago, they were the main skills to make a difference. And I think they're not particular from the 21st century. It's just that the 21st century is pushing them again, let's say. I agree.
So Madan Mohan Bhatt is asking, many parents are making school projects for their kids. How is this idea going to work in the real sense? So basically, I think what he's saying, in India, a lot of times when you get a project, parents do the project because they want the kids to get a good grade. How is Big Leap India going to be different in the way of execution, where parents will not really be involved in making the project?
I think that in Big Leap India, and this comes with the value proposition of Dream Shaper itself, the idea is that usually parents do that because they see their kids are not able to move forward and do a good job. And we can't assume that kids are just not motivated and they just don't know how to do things. The thing is that they need experiences that actually motivate them to try to do things well and to learn. And one of the things you talked about this word earlier on our talk, autonomy. So we really, the kids nowadays, they want to be autonomous. They are autonomous when they are searching on the internet for things that are related to their personal interests. So what I think is that what Big Leap India is bringing, and what Dream Shaper helps bring to, is building projects that are connected to the student interests, and that give them, by leading them through the right step-by-step methodology, this gives them the autonomy they need to be motivated to do a good work. Okay, so what I think is that parents help them because they want to have good grades, and that's because they see students are not motivated doing it. But the truth is that if the kids are motivated, I'm sure that parents will feel much more comfortable with what the children are doing. So
fantastic job. That's awesome. I think you'll give some more information in the following conversation, which will really clear the path for the Corabri who's watching on how Big Leap India can become a part of the youth from 13 to 23, and how they can benefit from understanding what they need to be doing in life, or probably define their purpose very clearly. So Ja, what is design thinking? Why is it important in today's context? And how does the platform encourage this way of thinking?
Well, I think I will try not to go too much in depth on this answer, but I think that design thinking is, as you know, it's not so new innovation methodology. It was new, like it seems like 2 years ago, but maybe it's 20. But it's not so new. But it's basically an innovation methodology that is based on you developing, you empathizing with what the others need, and you designing solutions considering all the time what the other people around you need, and not so self-centered, but aware of the world and aware of how people think around you. Okay, so I think this is maybe the easiest definition of design thinking. And I'm sure this started with design, then it came to entrepreneurship, innovation, and nowadays it's everywhere. And in Dream Shaper we use it a lot on the learning experience itself. So if we want the learning experience to connect with the students' interests and the students' needs, he also needs to understand that what he's building has to be connected with the others' needs. So we are every time making the student interviewing people and checking with the real world what the real world needs. And I think that this connects with something that Lina said before, that is it's kind of it works two ways around. So for you to have an impact in the world, you have to know yourself, but for you to know yourself, you have to know the world. And I think this is something that gets like a circle, and design thinking it's huge for that, because it makes you being touching base with the real world every time. And I think that this is how Dream Shaper and the experience on Big Leap India brings design thinking to the learning process and learning experience.
So we've got Dr. Madhu Singh, who's a principal of one of the Billabong schools in Malad. And what she's asking, and every time I go to get a question, what she's asking is that how could we convince parents that project-based learning will work and enhance learning?
Mm-hmm. No, great. I think now we have a great opportunity for that, considering what we just lived on the past year. So on the past year, parents were closer to our kids' learning experiences more than ever, because the truth is that the way the world works nowadays, it's that our kids are at school and they're learning and they bring some feedback home, but we are not watching it every day. And with what just happened on the past year, we just turned to be much more closer to the learning experience, and I think there are many things happening coming from this fact. One is how parents now valorize the role of the teacher and the role the school has, but another is how parents understand what type of learning experience motivates their children or not. And so I think that we have a great opportunity now, because now it's really clear in every parent's mind that every time teachers bring in anything that is a little bit more active, like project-based learning or other type of asynchronous activities that trust on the student autonomy and give them wings to be autonomous and to be creative, etc. These are the type of activities that motivate their kids and that make them learn. So I think that now we have, of course, that even without the whole COVID crisis, I think that what would motivate parents and make them believe, it's showing that their kids are learning and are happy and are developing soft skills. And we should be showing this to parents, because parents are already on the real world, on the corporate world, and they know, they look to their side and they see who are being successful or not. And so they know the importance of soft skills. So showing that their kids are learning, that their kids are happy, that their kids are developing other skills beyond learning technical skills. I think this would be what we would have to. This would be what we would have to do in any case. But I think that now we have a huge opportunity, because parents are closer than ever to their children's learning process. And so it will be much easier to explain this to them than it was a year ago.
Fantastic, João. So how would children engaging with Big Leap India make gains towards their personal mastery?
Okay, great. So as you know, on Dream Shaper, it's a PBL tool that has different paths and different types of projects. And in this case, in Big Leap India, we work together with the Corroborate team to build a specific path, project path for this initiative. And as Lina was saying a little bit a couple of minutes ago, the way we are approaching it on Big Leap India starts with self-knowledge, leadership. So knowing about me, it's the way to start to try to know about the world and to have impact in the world. So I think the way Big Leap India will work knowledge and mastery is it's because it all starts with kids learning about themselves, learning about their identity, their skills, their interests, their dreams. And this is kind of more romantic, but the truth is that we should teach kids how to dream, and we should. Dreams are not something that are just on fairy tales and Disney movies. It's possible to dream. It's possible to, and the truth is that lots of studies. There are lots of people nowadays studying around long-term planning and looking at this and as one of the key factors for success for the young people nowadays. So if we look to all successful people, there a good part of them were people that when they were kids they were able to see where they were going and put the effort to reach that goal. So I think that self-mastery will be worked a lot on that first block of work on self-knowledge.
So what's really exciting for me, João, is the two things that I think were the most important for me, either in schools or now when we go online. Is one is the personal mastery you've spoken about, because and the second is purpose mastery. So can you speak to us a little bit about how how Big Leap India, how the path that we've created will help children make gains towards purpose mastery?
Yeah, sure. So as I said, we are trying to bring an experience where the children or the young people, because the initiative is for 13-year-olds to 23-year-olds with different paths and different experiences. We are starting with self-knowledge, but then the self-knowledge connects with the real world on how to use who I am and the skills I have and the relations I have to make a difference and to solve real problems. So basically, after self-knowledge, we go to a second block where they will learn about sustainability, about the SDGs, about the biggest challenges in India, the biggest challenges in their communities. So because there are some children that connect with really huge problems, and any India challenge is a huge problem. But the truth is that it's really good to make them connect with what surrounds them directly. And India is so big that even if they go just for their community's challenges, they are looking for big problems and big things to solve. And so I think this awareness is having the awareness about themselves, and then the awareness about the world that surrounds them, and what are the biggest challenges. And more than that, they will not only we will not only generate the awareness, we will help them build a solution to solve a problem. And that there is, of course, it's important for them to study what is sustainability, what is happening around me, etc. But then when they choose a problem to solve and they start building a solution, that's when they will know that problem well. And I think this is the way we are developing this social consciousness and this other really important skills on these kids.
So, João, there is a general feeling that tomorrow belongs to the entrepreneur. Do you agree? That is my first question. And second is, how will Big Leap India contribute to a child developing an entrepreneurial mindset?
No, I totally agree, and I think that this has a lot to do with what's the definition of entrepreneur, and the truth is that if we look like not so many years ago, being an entrepreneur was kind of an option. It's a professional option. It was a professional option, and nowadays it's not. It's much more than that, and it's kind of a necessity but it's a necessity in the sense that being an entrepreneur, it's not opening your own business. It's the way you approach your life, the way you approach your studies, the way you approach your job in a big company, whatever. And so I really agree with that. Not in the sense that everyone should be opening their own company, but in the sense that everyone should have the skills to open their own company, and that will be really useful even on working on others' company or whatever. So I totally agree with that. And in what concerns to how Big Leap India experience will help developing these skills, I think that connects with all that we have discussed until now. So bringing that self-knowledge, bringing that awareness with what's happening around you, that's maybe 2/3 of being an entrepreneur. The other part of building a solution, and we will have two options, like a social solution or a business solution. But building the solution, obviously, it's really important. It's the third that's missing. But the other 2/3 of knowing how to know about yourself, and I said this before, and I think this is really important, because nowadays you are one, and in 10 years you will be another. But knowing how to do this auto-analysis, that's the important part. And then knowing how to look around you and see what are the challenges, how the yourself can change this, and then obviously knowing how to solve problems and how to build a solution more technically. It's really important. So I think this basically describes the path that we will deliver to young people through Big Leap India. And I'm really motivated and happy to do this, and looking forward for the impact we will start having with this movement.
So you've got a great comment, Zhao, from Divya Punjabi, saying, I wish I was younger and had the opportunity to know myself for personal and purpose mastery. Happy that the future citizens of India have this golden opportunity. Welcome to India, Dream Shaper. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Really,
That's
really
an awesome comment from Divya. Very awesome comment. So,
really happy to be part of this.
Jao, yes. So, Jao, what is the most inspirational story you would have to tell us of a student after their journey on the platform?
Oh, we have so many. It's been like almost 500,000 students during past years. So there are many different inspirational stories. Well, maybe I will use a couple of recent stories. Three different type of stories. One, we see this a lot. Students, like, the objective of school is it's bringing you or developing skills that you will use on your real life, right? It's not only to learn about what schools want you to learn. At least this should be the objective. And we see lots of students that start using Dream Shaper at school to build research projects or citizenship projects or entrepreneurship projects, and then they understand how doing those projects to other things that not the things that teachers are proposing can make a big difference. We have a case of a student in Brazil that his mother was really good doing clothes, and she was selling for 10 years clothes, like for family and friends, and then he understood that it was quite simple to build like an online shop to help his mother selling. She lost her job like 1 month before he started working with Dream Shaper. So basically he built a side project with his mother. He's called his mother to the tool to build a project to teach his mother how to build an online store to sell her clothes and to create her own job. We have another interesting recent story or case, which was like these students that were using Dream Shaper. They started looking at their community, and it was like a favela, these really poor communities in Brazil too. And they were learning English at school, and they saw that like the kids on their community didn't have so much access to English, so they started building a social project to teach English in favela. And these guys just raised like 500,000 they were on Shark Tank 1 month ago, because this all started, and they built this as a social business, and these kids coming from the favela doing solutions for other kids from their community are now on Shark Tank, building their own dreams and impacting lots of people. So, well, there are lots of and I think that just to wrap up this answer, this type of impacts or this type of cases are easier to look at because, well, they created a solution for a real problem. But the biggest inspirational story we see is the impact we are having on the way these kids are learning, and we look at this, and we had lots of impact studies, but we don't need the impact studies. We just need the teachers' feedback and the school's feedback and the students' feedback. And I think that the most inspirational story is how we are helping schools and teachers implementing new ways of teaching, and the impact this has on the motivation of their students to keep in school and to learn and to be personally and professionally successful in the future.
The story you said about the kid who went on to expanding his mother's tailoring into a online business. It's just such a beautiful time to introduce Big Leap India, because old power, where power was just held by a few people, and the new way of power is that access and ability to produce results is available to everyone, and especially in a country like India, where we have so much of financial disparity. Not all children have access to great education. And introducing Dream Shaper, which is, and especially Big Leap India, which is a completely social initiative, free for any child to come on and sort of use. I think, Xiao, you're just doing India such a wonderful service. We're just so happy partnering with you.
We are not us, but we together with the Corrobori and you, and we are also really happy to start this journey with you.
And before Gnela Rajesh wraps up, everyone, there is a beautiful journal. So please do download the journal. João has helped with the inputs himself. So please do download it, and you'll learn more about how project-based learning, self-directed learning works for kids.
So thank you, João. And this is going to be a wonderful relationship between Dream Shapers and Corrobori for India. And we strongly believe that there are plenty of academically brilliant children in India, but who are financially challenged. This kind of initiatives like the Big Leap India is going to be a great leveler for people who have got the talent and the tools that we are providing completely at no cost at all, where youngsters can participate and shape their future by defining what is their purpose and understanding the meaning of life and how they can add value to the people around them. So thank you, João. Thank you, Dream Shapers. And together with Corrobori, we will definitely create an impact that India needs at the moment. I request all the Corrobori to join us to be a part of this mission, and also to promote it to the people to whom this can make a big difference. The only fee that you need to pay is participation. You participate and you win. That's the invitation that is being offered by Corrobori and Dream Shapers. So let's all together make this movement a very big movement and bring this opportunity to maximum number of people in India and benefit out of it. Thank you so much, and we'll meet again next Sunday.
Thanks, João.
Thank you.
Thank you, João. Thank you, Lina. Bye-bye.
Bye.